twilight of the gods, the extinction of the Dominion. For uncountable eras, the Supreme Council of VAR ruled with an iron fist over 1,000 universes. Their decrees were unquestionable, their power absolute, and their will an immutable law carved into the stars. Wherever the Dominion marched, the light was extinguished. Wherever its banner flew, civilizations fell to their knees. They did not conquer, they erased. Thousands of empires had fallen before them. Super-civilizations that had flourished for millennia were torn from the fabric of time like pages cast into a cosmic fire. Entire worlds became legend, dust orbiting forgotten suns. Now, the Council's gaze turned to a singular enemy, insignificant in the eyes of most, primitive by comparison, but bold, defiant, unyielding. The human race. In the Grand Hall of the Dominion, forged from the remnants of a stabilized black hole, the warlords of supremacy observed the floating projections of the imminent conflict. Stellar maps danced in holograms, detailing every step of what was to be the final annihilation of the human species. High Ixar Thoris, whose presence silenced even solar winds, rose from his gravitational throne. His voice, as powerful as a supernova's explosion, echoed through the chamber. 6 hours. His hand gestured toward the void, where a model of the solar system spun slowly. That is all we need to crush this rebellious race. 6 hours, and their fragile civilization will be stardust. 6 hours, and not even the echo of their existence shall remain. Murmurs of approval reverberated among the golden columns. Generals, war scientists, and dimensional strategists nodded in agreement. No civilization had ever resisted the Dominion. None. And certainly not the humans, with their fragile bones and noisy minds. The fleet was launched. 10,000 warships, colossal vessels that dwarfed moons, frigates swift as quantum lightning, orbital platforms armed with extra-dimensional horrors, emerged from the Rubrum star portal, tearing through hyperspace like the wrath of a furious god. Earth's fate, they believed, was already sealed. But on that day, history decided to rewrite itself. As they emerged at the outer edges of the solar system, beyond Jupiter's orbit, the Dominion sensors picked up Earth's defenses. What they saw drew laughter from the commanders. Only a few dozen scattered squadrons, tiny frigates, obsolete fighters, no high-density planetary shields, no gravitational distortion fields, not even a rearguard fleet. Clarus, supreme commander of the offensive, gazed at the images with disdain. His face, carved by decades of massacre, smiled for the first time in years. Fire. The order was carried out with fury. The Dominion's planetary cannons, monstrosities capable of piercing the heart of a star, roared. Antimatter barrages collapsed the darkness of space. Gravitational waves distorted reality. An impossible storm descended upon the humans' feeble line of defense. And then, the impossible occurred. Nothing. Silence. The human ships had vanished. They hadn't exploded. They hadn't fought back. They had simply disappeared. What's happening? One of the Dominion's officers shouted, eyes wide in confusion. Clarus adjusted the main viewer. The human ships were there. But at the same time, they weren't. Like shadows out of phase, existing in slightly displaced dimensions. Their systems began detecting thousands of ghost signatures. Targets that hadn't been registered. Ships that had not been seen on approach. Then, without warning, 2,000 Dominion destroyers exploded in perfect synchrony. No alarms. No detected strikes. They simply ceased to exist. In the fleet's command center, silence became a living entity. Horror crawled through the spines of the commanders like slow poison. Their perfect offensive had been broken, subverted. And then, the transmission. A male voice, calm, cold as the vacuum. You thought this was a war. The voice echoed through the ships, freezing the hearts of Dominion soldiers. No. This is extermination. Ars Draven. The name slashed through the communication channels like a blade. Supreme General of the Human Resistance. A strategist born on Mars, forged in the flames of the Europa Rebellion, and refined in the Titan Wars. A man who had never lost a battle. a ghost haunting the dreams of the Dominion's overlords. The generals exchanged glances. Fear. Real fear. And the destruction began. Tachyon cannons, weapons that distorted time, were activated. Dominion ships were destroyed before being targeted. Some didn't even have time to realize they were under attack. Karras, field general, watched the explosions on his screen with empty eyes. Ships from his division imploded like bubbles in acid seas. How are they doing this? No answer. Only more destruction. And then came absolute terror. A weapon never registered by any known civilization was activated. Doctrina. Sensors detected the presence of an artificial singularity, a sphere of unreality that devoured matter and energy without emitting radiation, without logic, without mercy. When it was unleashed, 3,000 ships vanished in less than half a second. Nothing remained. No wreckage. No echoes. Karras staggered, hands trembling. This can't be happening. But it was. And it would not stop. The intercom lit up again. Ars Draven spoke, now with the serenity of one who dictates the end of an era. You believed yourselves eternal. You thought you could subjugate us. Pause. Now, your species will have only one name echoing through the infinite. In the heart of command, Karras, one of the few surviving leaders, stared at the screen. What? Name? The screen showed Draven's face. Expressionless. Emotionless. Humanity. And then, reality gave way. Space and time tore around the Dominion's ships. Warp systems collapsed. Shields reversed polarity and imploded. Tactical AIS were infected by a code speaking in frequencies no being could comprehend. The fleet tried to retreat. Evasive formations initiated. But it was far too late. Draven folded his arms, unmoved. No survivors. The order was executed. The Omega Array, the last weapon in the human arsenal, was activated. A hidden structure in Neptune's orbit fired an annihilation pulse of the fifth layer. It caused no explosions. No light. It simply erased. Local realities were deleted. Waves of silence spread to neighboring galaxies. In less than 6 minutes, the Dominion fleet ceased to exist. No prisoners were taken. No debris collected. No glory sought. They were erased. And in the far reaches of the universe, where hidden civilizations had watched the conflict unfold, a truth became inevitable. Humanity did not fight for power, nor for vengeance. They fought for the extinction of those who dared threaten them. The war lasted less than a breath in cosmic terms. But its impact would echo forever. The Supreme Council of VAR was dismantled. Its members hunted down, one by one, in the years that followed. The word human became taboo in thousands of languages. A symbol of terror. A whispered prayer. A silent warning. And among the ruins of the conquered universe, the stars sang a new song. The twilight of the gods had come. And its name was humanity.